Hi everyone, and welcome to part 8 of my DVD collection. This video is going to be all the loose DVDs that I've got, some misshapen ones that don't fit in my shelves, the second layer of my shelves because my shelves are full, so I've have to double up on the layers. So let's get right to it. First we're going to start with the layer 2 stuff. First up is A Beautiful Mind, Atlantis, one of my favorite cartoons growing up as a kid, The Book of Eli, Fast and the Furious 5, the best of the series, Flatliners. This movie took forever to find. It's such a hard to find film. I was so lucky I was able to get a copy. I watched it at a friend's house off of Netflix, and I thought it was a great film. Very good story. The acting's okay. Interesting to see Kiefer Sutherland as a kid. You don't see too many. I haven't seen too many movies of him young. But yeah, that was such a hard film to find. Matt Damon in Green Zone. That was a decent film. The Grudge. This was a blind buy. I was bored during the whole thing. It was just, Hannibal Rising, Hollow Man, Kick-Ass. This is an awesome movie. The Missing, Muppet Treasure Island, Scream 4, Signs, Stir of Echoes. This is a very good thriller, another really hard to find film. Take Me Home Tonight, John Carpenter's The Thing. This is an amazing sci-fi horror film. If you're just trying, if you're trying to find the right sci-fi horror film to watch, definitely check this one out. The tension is great. The effects, their practical effects, their puppets and stuff. It's an amazing film to watch. If you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. I highly recommend that. The last one in my second layer films is When a Stranger Calls. This is a boring film. I highly suggest you avoid it. This was another blind buy. So now we're going to move on to a couple of multi-packs. So here we have Maverick and Wild Wild West. Two Denzel Washington films, Training Day and Fallen. Training Day, brilliant performance from Denzel Washington, and Fallen, pretty decent film. Oops. Here we have a George Clooney double pack with The Perfect Storm and Three Kings. Nicolas Cage 3-pack, Face Off, Snake Eyes, Bringing Out the Dead. Face Off is an amazing action film. I wouldn't say amazing, but it's got a very interesting premise and it's done very well. Chris Rock 3-pack, Down to Earth, Head of State, and Pootie Tang. I haven't watched Pootie Tang yet. I just got it for the other two. Then we have I guess it's like a wedding 2-pack, Honeymoon in Vegas with Nicolas Cage, and Just Married with Ashton Kutcher and the late Brittany Murphy. And we have a thriller 3-pack, Mark Wahlberg in Fear, Keanu Reeves in The Watcher, and John Lithgow in Raising Cain. I haven't watched any of these yet. And the final multi-pack, another thriller 3-pack, 15 Minutes with Robert De Niro, Frequency with Dennis Quaid, which is a very, very interesting film, and 13 Days with Kevin Costner. So now we're going to move on to some special editions. The 3-disc set of Gladiator, probably my favorite of the whole epic swords and violence kind of films. Really don't know what kind of genre to call it. Red Dragon, one of the Hannibal Lecter films. This is the prequel to Silence of the Lambs. This is probably my favorite Hannibal Lecter film. The other two are, well, Silence of the Lambs is pretty decent. Hannibal, but this one is my favorite. The chemistry between Hopkins and Edward Norton, really good. Very good suspense film. And speaking of Hannibal films, here's the other three. So Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and before Silence of the Lambs, they actually did Red Dragon, and they called it Manhunter, which I haven't watched it. I've watched all the other ones, but I haven't watched that one yet. But that's technically the first Hannibal Lecter film. One of my favorite films here, Sin City. This is the 2-disc set. Comes with the theatrical released film, a bonus or an extended edition where they've actually split all 3 stories into separate spots, so you can just watch one part at a time. You don't have to watch it as one full movie. And it comes with one of the graphic novels, The Hard Goodbye. This movie was done great on a technical standpoint. After reading through the graphic novel that this comes through, I've come to realize that this is probably the best adaptation film ever made, like from a comic book, graphic novel, or whatever. Three-disc set of Wind Talkers. The 2-disc set of Unbreakable, one of Shyamalan's films. One of his 3 really, really good ones. This is a very interesting film. Again, it's one of those, it's very slow building, but the twist is worth it. 2-disc set of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The 3-disc set of Wall-E. Saving Private Ryan, the 2-disc 60th anniversary of D-Day edition. The 15th anniversary edition of Reservoir Dogs, 2-disc set. Quentin Tarantino's first film. Not my favorite Tarantino film, but it's a very, very good film. And finally we have Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, the 4-disc extended edition. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, extended edition. And Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, 4-disc extended edition. I've watched Fellowship of the Ring, the extended edition, and I think I've watched half of Two Towers and the last half of Return of the King. They are very long movies, and it's very hard to find time to watch them. You can't, or I can't watch them in one sitting because it's like 3.5, and 4.5. But, so that concludes video 8 of all my loose and odd-shaped DVDs, so stay tuned for my final video, video 9, which will be my Blu-rays. Thanks for watching.